Welcome to Shop Talk for January 23rd. I have a few classes that we're going to highlight, and then we'll talk about our fabric and the fun feet that we have for this week. So some of the classes that we have coming up are on Friday the 24th and Saturday the 25th. We're going to do the paper pieced blocks, and it's a new paper piecing class for us this year, and so you're welcome to join us. We're using this book from Lisa Taylor, and she's a new designer, and she has this book, and we're going to use it. Their class on Friday the 24th is full, but there's still room on the 25th, which is Saturday, to join us. And if you've never tried paper piecing, it's a completely different way of sewing and a lot of fun. So hopefully you'll get to join us maybe for one of those classes. Then on Monday, the 27th, we are going to do edge-to-edge quilting in our embroidery machines. A lot of people don't know that their embroidery machines can also do some of the quilting, and I like to use that type of quilting on my bags and then small table runners or small projects. It works really well, and so I have a class on that on the 27th if you'd like to join us for that one. And then on Wednesday the 29th, we're going to do the Uptown bag, which is this one here. I've taught probably 150 people how to make this bag, and I said that I would never do it again, but the fabric from Poppy Cotton was too cute not to use in our Uptown bag, and so here we are doing it again. So if you have time and want to learn how to make the Uptown bag, please join us that Wednesday. Let's take a look at the fabric we have this week. This week's fabric comes from Wyndham Fabrics, and it's called Garden Tales, and you can really tell that the inspiration was from the garden with its earth tones and muted blues and reds and some of the really pretty florals that are included in this set of fabric. It would be a great one for a vintage themed quilt. Some of the pieces even look like they're pieced, and would be really fun with a mixture of this one with some of the other pieces. It would also be a really fun handbag for the winter. So lots of options that we could put together with our Garden Tales. This week for our Baby Lock highlight, we're going to talk about quarter feet and the options that we have here at the sewing studio. We actually carry 5 different options for our quarter-inch feet, and for those of you that don't know why a quarter-inch foot is important, in our piecing, most patterns are written so that our seam allowance is a quarter-inch, and we have different ways to make sure that you can line up and get that really nice quarter-inch seam so all of your piecing is nice and flat and professional looking. So first up, we have our standard quarter-inch foot. On this one, this piece that dives in here at the front, that's what you line up against, and that's your quarter-inch. It doesn't have a guide, it's just your standard metal foot. Next up is our quarter-inch with a guide. A lot of the machines actually come with this particular foot. It has this metal piece that jets out here in front of the foot, and that is what you line up against, and it just kind of helps you see that quarter-inch a little bit better because it's sitting here in front of the foot before the fabric goes into the machine. So third, we have our little clear quarter-inch foot. This is actually my personal favorite foot. On this one, it's very similar to that first metal foot that we saw, but with this one, because it's clear, I can actually see the fabric slide underneath it, so I can see if I'm not keeping that consistent quarter-inch there against my guide as I'm piecing my fabrics together. So these guys, the last two, are a little bit larger feet. If you have a trouble seeing the quarter-inch, these legs on the front of this foot jet out a lot farther, and so it's a lot easier to see your quarter-inch on this particular foot. And then lastly, we have this guy, and for all of you that are beginning sewing or newer to piecing quilts, this one is probably the best one that we have. The guide on this one is a lot stronger, so it stays stiffer and in place, much easier in case you're one to kind of press the fabric against it. And it's black against this metal, and so you could really see your guide, and it helps. So this is probably the best foot for those of you that are new or struggling to really keep your quarter-inch seam. So those are the 5 options that we keep here at the sewing studio, and it really is about personal preference. If you have any questions, you can always drop by, and we'd love to show you these and talk about which one would actually fit your needs best. So as you can see, there's lots going on here at the sewing studio, starting in January for a whole new year. Thanks so much for joining us. And cut.